Okay, hello everyone, it's Leon here and Dave,
Hello.
who wrote our Call of Duty review. We're just going to play through the first sort of half hour or so. I have seen nothing of the sort of the opening part of the game. This will be the beginning, so obviously full of spoilers. If you don't want to know how it opens or what happens first, then stop watching now.
Spoiler alert, I will be shooting men in the face.
There may be guns, I can't confirm that yet. But yeah, we're just going to play through. Dave obviously has played the review. Has played the game for review, so he's completed it. He'll be I'll be asking questions about stuff. We'll see how it goes. So where are we?
Where are we? We appear to be, I think we're about to go to an old folks home. Which this isn't a spoiler. This is the section set in 2025. So to bring up to speed, the campaign's set over two different time periods. It picks up initially in 2025 with this Navy SEAL who's called David Mason, who is the son of Alex
So
Mason.
guy on the left, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, no, is that-
the guy with the jacket?
Yeah. Oh, the guy with the jacket.
And the guy on the right is a guy called Harper,
That's it.
who, absolutely useless piece of information, is the character actor who's in Sea of Love as the villain. It's an old 80s Pacino film.
So that's the kind of insight you get.
Yeah,
from us.
that's the kind of insight you get in official PlayStation magazine. Anyway, I think he's actually modelled on him as well. But yeah, this is 2025. So yeah, that is
very kind of almost like kind of Japanese style kind of hero. That slightly androgynous,
sweaty,
beautiful. No, him, the other guy.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2025. That is David Mason, the jacket. The guy in the chair is. This isn't a spoiler because this has been revealed. That is Frank Woods.
Yes, he's
who's in the first game and teammate of David's father Alex. So the campaign is essentially, I'd say it's probably about a 70-30 split between future missions and missions set in the 70s and 80s with Alex and Woods. Late 70s, early 80s, kind of end of the Cold War, kind of dealing with the repercussions of that. And yet really the strength of the game is certainly the future setting. The 2025 stuff's much stronger. It really benefits from all this kind of vaguely believable futuristic tech, like squirrel suits, optic camouflage like you get in a Metal Gear Solid. A lot of the technology is very similar to what you might have played in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, even Future Soldier or On the Air. It's very much got that vibe, so you can expect kind of bipedal walking tanks and things like that. And it really adds a nice flavour to combat, which kind of freshens the single player up. So here's old beardy Alex
Character
Mason.
design is really. I'm thinking the it's only a cutscene, but the facial animation stuff is a lot nicer than I think we've used to seeing in the COD. But the character design's got an oddly, I'd say, almost sort of Japanese, slightly. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think the Alex Mason character design is certainly quite different than in the first Black Ops. I can see what you mean about that slightly plasticky.
No, I don't mean even
Japanese
plasticky,
style
but it just looks a bit. Oh my god, is that Oliver North?
Now, interestingly, this guy in the left with the glasses is called Hudson. I seem to remember him being voiced by
Ed Wood, wasn't it?
Yes, in the first game, but he's not in this. Whether they just couldn't sign up again.
Yeah, probably wouldn't. Yeah, because he was. He's in the Jeep, wasn't he? In Vietnam.
Yeah.
That really good scene when you're driving to the base.
And obviously, Alex Mason is played by Sam Worthington, the blandest actor in all of Hollywood.
He's all
But he's
right.
been in, $1 billion film in Avatar, so I'm sure he sleeps soundly at night.
Yeah, on his big pile of money.
But yeah, the big twist with story this time, not to spoil anything, it places a lot more emphasis on the villain. It's probably the first time I can remember a Call of Duty ever having a memorable villain.
Raul Mendes.
Raul Menendez.
Oh God, who's Call of Duty 4? God, what's his name?
Not Makarov.
The original guy, the guy you shoot the arm off of.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot his name.
Oh God, Silva. That shows you how memorable he is.
Yeah. Imran Zakharov.
Yeah, Zakharov.
Yeah, Zakharov was good.
Makarov. But this guy, he's much more interesting than the usual COD baddie, because
they made a big point.
He's quite layered. And he's quite a tragic character as well. And I think this game benefit. I mean, the story's not entirely successful, as I say in the review. There's still too much sweary, shouty nonsense. But I think it does benefit from David S. Goyer, who was the screenwriter in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
So it does have a bit more to offer than usual. Call of Duty. I'm going to start this mission now, which is set in Angola during 1986.
This is interesting. So you've got perks and attachments actually in the single player now.
You can actually. This is obviously kind of the interesting thing is multiplayer sensibilities essentially in single player.
Okay.
So you can actually import your multiplayer loadout into single player as well, which is really good. So you essentially you're never restricted to a gun you don't want to use. So you've got your pick of primary weapons, secondary weapons, attachments. So say you're a bit more limited at the start, but as you progress through missions, the options open up. So I could either have a FAL for the more long range combat, or if a bit more in the middle distance, an AK-47. I'm going to want the scope, so I'm going to go for the FAL.
Okay.
And you can
because so it is fully like multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. Sights, you can choose what sort of sights you do and select fire rates and things like that. And it's even interestingly got perks, just like multiplayer.
That's strange.
Which kind of you can see things like that, like carry X grenades, hip accuracy, so you're more
whole breath,
more accurate when not firing down iron sights. So you
can have quite an effect on the level. So if you are picking like a sniper level, you've got a hold breath perk.
As much as the single player allows for any degree of improvisation during play, then this definitely goes to great pains to help you play in different ways. Interestingly, I remember having a conversation with someone last week, and apparently almost every big area in the game has like an elevated point for sniping, which has been like a dedicated design decision to essentially facilitate a sniper to go through the entire campaign, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, is there a lot of? They made a point of how you can sort of separate, go different directions and make decisions. Does that work?
I mean, it's not. Don't go in expecting heavy rain. I will say that there are. I mean, it's the narrative's divergent in the sense that there are, say, half a dozen or so binary choices where you can say, do this evil thing, do this slightly less evil thing, and that will essentially decide where certain characters live or die, and also have an effect in the ending. There also are smaller things as well, like mission objectives.
Ow.
So this is Bernie and sore. There are also like mission objectives during the gameplay. So if you fail them, that might have an impact later on the future decision.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, it's not particularly well explained. It's all vague and ambiguous. So I think it's the sort of thing you probably have to go through 2 or 3 times. To really get the benefit of all the different positions.
That was really unpleasant.
Yeah, that's really unpleasant. That guy's face is excellent. Some of the motion capture this time is really good. So here we are in Angola.
This is the first time, isn't it? They were talking about they've done proper, like full, almost like kind of Uncharted style capture, isn't it? Like so the actors do the voice capture, motion capture, facial capture, everything on stage at once.
It's one of a few games I've noticed this year which seems to be finally, titles catching up to that level of kind of LA noir tech, which without being so plasticine faced. I am acting, look at my mouth. So this mission's actually, it's a really good opening. The thing that really impressed me about this when I was playing through it last week is it gives a really kind of compelling sense of like open warfare, because when you get out into these Angolan plains, there's literally dozens and dozens of on-screen soldiers.
It reminds me of when, like in the old Call of Duty, like World War II stuff, when they started to expand and build bigger battlefields. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, there are a lot of people coming up.
Is that a gun? I've never seen a gun.
It's a shotgun.
No, it's a grenade launcher, but I've just never seen one with that big a barrel.
Whoa! Oh dear.
There you are. There you go. Close quick.
I should concentrate on the men trying to knife me around that guy's gun. Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's like it does feel big and wide, doesn't it? It's not a corridor or
it's absolutely
a street.
I mean, COD has always been very good at smoking mirrors. Never so much as in Black Ops 3.
This is so kind of World War II, though, isn't it? It's really that kind of storming the beaches sort of thing, and I mean that in a good way. I mean, I like the old games. I think this is interesting. They're kind of going revisiting what those did.
Even though it's still a linear corridor shooter at its core. The smoking mirrors have never been better. Essentially convincing you that it's more than that. That it's more expansive. Like, as I was almost going to write in the review, it's the kind of mirror at a carnival that makes you look 6'2" and mega handsome.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Some of the melee.
Nice.
It's quite brutal.
Yeah.
It's just like the sort of violence is every bit as unflinchingly uncompromising as Black Ops. But it never really feels as if it's gratuitous for the sake of shock value. It does always feel in some way absurd and ridiculous.
Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of the death animations are instantly recognisable as like a COD. The way they fall when you shoot them, it's like there's sort of a certain amount of character that they have to. Oh, that was going.
Here's an airstrike. Yeah, like COD generally, it's never been as governed by physics as like other shooters. So it's not. You're not going to see like ragdoll.
But they really kind of make those pre-canned death animations kind of act a lot.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Like the second that guy fell, it was like, oh, that's a COD death animation.
And in typical COD fashion, your objectives are usually go here, blow up this, reach this, etc. Hopefully the next mission I can show you some of the future stuff, which, this is good, but, the future stuff's more interesting. So.
But I think this is nice, isn't it? Because everyone made a big thing about being all future. Did you just take that guy's head off?
Yes. Oh, I'm dead.
Died in a process.
Oh, Leon.
I wanted to check the head taking off.
There's a gun later on, which is this like incredible grenade launcher that it lets you see through walls because it's kind of got thermal vision, and it in the second last level literally took a man's shins off, which was just jarring.
Do we know why any of this is happening?
Well, basically, from what I can remember, you're essentially chasing up a lead to do with Roman Endez, who is, oh dear, this is embarrassing. Who is, I think he is situated in Angola at the time. He's not Angolan, he's South American, but I think he's a terrorist in charge of essentially a global terrorist faction. So I think right now he is in Angola and we're trying to chase him. So, or you're possibly chasing him for contact who knows where he is. Don't quote me. Right, let's just concentrate on not dying here. It's quite embarrassing. This is only on morning.
It's the guy in the machine gun.
That is who I should be shooting.
Yes.
Die, man.
That should make life a lot easier.
So many men.
What's up?
Waiting on your go, Mason. Okay, coming around again.
Tango boom, tango boom, tango boom, tango boom.
There's heavy armor still out there.
There's more. There's more. Yeah, but the level design hasn't fundamentally changed much since, say, in Trailer.
Yeah.
The big addition for Singapore this year is the Strike Force missions, which structurally are very different to the rest of the game. I'd say there's probably about 6 Strike Force missions, so they're not necessarily a big part of the game. Each one takes about 10 minutes, and they take place in multiplayer maps, and you're essentially given various objectives of each one. But it usually boils down like going to an enemy objective and capturing it.
And is that so? It happens in the story as you're playing.
Yeah, like it's said.
How do you know it's a Strike Force mission when it
says Strike Force? Because it doesn't. You actually have to pick it separately from the main campaign menu, so it doesn't just flow into a Strike Force.
Oh, so it's not like you'll be playing the game
and
then you'll do a Strike Force mission as part of the game.
No, they're absolutely optional. So they do tie into the game in the sense that I think they do affect endings to a degree.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's not very well explained, but they're entirely optional whether you want to do them or not. They're not amazing, but they do work well. I mean, like the controls work very well. They essentially combine like kind of RTS sensibilities into an FPS, so you can then still control your grunt on the ground and shoot like normal. You can also zoom up for like an almost like Driver San Francisco style aerial view of the entire battlefield and switch between your troops at the fly. It's very streamlined, mechanically it works. It's just the objectives are never terribly interesting, so I was always quite keen just to skip them. But they're there, and it's something different, so you can credit Treyarch for that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the COD kind of template has been very unchanged since like the first one. So any attempt to kind of shake it up beyond like here's a new kind of gun attachment must be kind of, I guess,
it definitely feels like a braver game than Modern Warfare 3 in the sense that Treyarch are clearly attempting more. This is the biggest game franchise in the world. It'd be quite easily just to stick a few maps in every year and just charge 50 quid for it, and it'll sell 8 million copies like it did yesterday. So. But I think maybe Modern Warfare 3 was restricting that had to close out a trilogy, so maybe it was they were kind of restricting how many new elements they could really introduce.
I just thought we haven't said how much you gave it. You gave it 8 out of 10, didn't you?
Gave it 8 out of 10, yes. And I think I described it as the ultimate expression of what Call of Duty has achieved on this generation of consoles.
You've
But
been
it'll
memorising that.
It'll need PS4 to fully unshackle it from its limitations.
I think I like that idea of basically kind of going, this is as much as good as and as much as you can do with COD.
Yeah. For all of COD's inherent strengths and weaknesses of this generation, this is it perfectly expressed in this game. This is the most COD-like COD ever. So if you love COD, you'll love it. But if you're, but increasingly the template is getting very well worn. This template essentially wasn't laid down in Modern Warfare in 2007. It was laid down in like 2004 by the original Call of Duty PC. So that kind of pushing to the next objective to like stop the endlessly spawning enemies. It's essentially 8 years old. This kind of template of all being built around very linear experience of predetermined, very controlled set pieces. So when it works and it's very seductive.
Cool.
But I think going forward, I think we've seen with the likes of Dishonored this year. We are at a level now where we are craving more freedom.
Yes.
And Black Ops does try in some areas like multiplayer engines and Strike Force and such. But my big problem with the single player, it's excellent. The guns are. I think we should point that out. The guns are in this place where we are. Oh dear. Poor man.
God.
But,
That reminds me of I think it's Call of Duty 3 when you had to fight the soldiers and like basically bash the buttons, but you could see the moment on their face when you started to win and they'd go from like angry to scared, and then you'd kill them.
But
So where are we here? Sorry, quick.
we're still in Angola.
Right.
And we're just going down the river shooting somewhere for some reason. But yeah, we should point out the guns are the trademark plus are excellent. Like the punchy, muscular. Loud enough to perforate God's eardrums.
Yeah.
As I said.
Hang on, we're rescuing shirts?
No,
Oh.
this is actually one new small feature. You can actually like scope out like power-ups that will help you throughout. Not power-ups, but like items that will help you throughout the mission. So like here it was a flak jacket that will make you take less damage. In one of the 2025 missions, it might be optic camouflage to help you sneak through enemies over the stealth.
So I've seen that in the trailer. That's actually like a power up then you can pick up.
Yeah, it's actually a power up. Get on this big gun. Shoot this bolt. Pull back.
Boga boom.
So this is really quite similar to the Vietnam stuff in the last Black Ops.
It's interesting the pacing, isn't it? 'Cause, like it used to be in old CODs and old shooters generally, you'd have like kind of a lot of shooting, and then every now and then a machine gun nest. Like in the space of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we're on a machine gun nest. It's like thrown flying bits at us, and
it doesn't take long for things to escalate. Now it's essentially because they're such condensed experiences. You probably rattle through this in 5 hours maximum if you're playing it in the normal setting.
Yeah.
So they're not about you just trench combat now. There's very little grinding. It's all pretty much spectacular set pieces.
People want a lot to happen quickly.
Yeah, every mission essentially acts as its own independent little action movie.
Yeah.
Full of its unique pacing and set pieces.
Is there a lot of when you play this and you kind of go, oh, it's that bit from that movie, or because there's always like everything from like haircuts to like lines are always seem to be lifted from.
I suppose because of the near future setting, which hasn't been massively exposed in cinema yet, it doesn't feel as familiar as something like like the Stalingrad section of the original Call of Duty, which was just taking almost set piece for set piece from any of the gates, or
Good jumping.
What's the mission in Modern Warfare 4? No, not the Russian. The ghillie suit, all ghillied up.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of vaguely behind enemy lines-ish.
Yeah. You know things like Soap was basically Guy Pearce from whatever that movie was
Like
called.
Tears of the Sun or something?
Tears of the Sun, that was it,
I don't think it was Guy Pearce the actor, but you're right, it was like that guy.
There's a
with the
picture,
mohawk.
isn't there, of that guy with the mohawk and the mic, and they basically like use that as the reference. It's interesting they managed to sort of make the gore and the unpleasantness as bad as ever, but not, without feeling as gratuitous. Like I remember with the last Call of Duty when they did the Pacific one with all the Japanese, you know, the cigarette in the eye, and lots of really like look at us be gory. This is unpleasant, but
it feels a little more mature, as mature as
you're
graphic video game violence can be. I think
prisoners.
A quick thing to point out from before is this is really the first Call of Duty I can remember that uses third-person cutscenes to actually tell the story. You've always had maybe the occasional
I didn't
video
even register. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you've occasionally always had like the little video interlude,
Yeah.
like, you know, from actual real-life footage. But, you know, this is the first time you've clearly developed the engine to act like in the third-person view for cutscenes, which is, it does help. You know, it absolutely helps.
Oh, that's handy.
I want this. The Valkyrie launcher. Okay. And what do we think we do with this? This is good to actually control this.
Oh, you actually. Oh, nice.
There's one hit roll.
Yes, it
Or
does.
does it?
Yes, it does.
There's actually a bit coming up which is very...
Oh, you.
There's a bit coming up that's very deer huntery.
Diddy Mao.
Not Diddy Mao, just a bit of like carrying the guy on the beach, which is
right.
a bit like what De Niro does with John Sebastian. I'm just loading this full of useless movie rubbish. See, I love the Deer Hunter.
I think films like that are a valuable reference if we're going to be discussing this kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, probably more so than
Oh.
Deer Hunter and Seal. No, I'll get it this time. I'll stop blabbering on about Robert De Niro and shoot this guy.
Yes. It's still not dead.
No, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. So no.
It's a shame we might not actually get to see the futuristic setting, because the first future was a level after this where you're essentially I can't exactly remember where it's set, but you're in like this torrential rainstorm and you start off in these mountain peaks and you've got to use these kind of like electrical gloves to kind of rappel down a mountain,
right.
and then you use the squirrel suit, which you actually control yourself, and it's actually surprisingly good.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. There's the Jetwing suit, isn't there, and the squirrel suit stuff.
You never actually get to control the Jetwing suit.
Oh, really? 'Cause in the trailer, it looks like you're doing almost that kind of God of War thing where you're flying down a tunnel and avoiding stuff.
Yeah, or certainly I never did. You do get to like pilot flying drones at certain points. There's a really bit in a Pakistan level where you actually control hops on the fly between driving a jeep through basically these waist-high flooded streets and like offering air support and a flying drone of death.
It's visually like it's clearly been upgraded, but yeah, the end is they need a new engine now, don't they? I mean, that's a picture of the ground on the floor, isn't it?
Play it on a good TV at the sort of distance you should sit away from a good TV.
That's true.
So, like,
I should point out we sat about 2 foot
sat
from the screen.
like 2 foot from the screen. You sit 10 feet away from a good
Hang on, I'm going to move back.
TV, and it will look a lot better. I mean, it's
That's right, but that is still a photograph of the ground.
I mean, we're running this through like.
For capture we need to run it through
so
components.
it doesn't look as good as it would through HDMI, but you know it's quite a handsome game. It's like the particle effects are still good. It won't blow you away, but I'd say it's
acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable. I'm not looking at it going, oh my god, what's that tree made of? Which I did do a lot of in Assassin's Creed. And yeah, I think the facial sort of stuff is makes up so much. When you look at the face and you believe the expression, you sort of buy it a lot more.
You can see like facial
He is
animations
Mr. Slappy, isn't he?
coming on loads. Now apparently this bit I missed it originally. You can collect various bits of intel on Roman Indes before you encounter him, and if you do so, that'll have like an impact on a later mission.
Right.
I never actually found the intel, so that didn't impact my story. But it's there if you want it to be.
I hate the intel in COD because I always end up I find one piece and I go, maybe I'm going to do it this year, and then like 2-3 levels later you realise you haven't found any more, and
Now,
that's it. I'm
this
out.
is one thing though, we can just see grass just fully clipping through this man's head.
Well, that's not so bad. At least you can see like individual pieces of grass, and like the. I've played a couple of games where recently where it's a sheet of grass printed paper with like kind of holes in.
Yeah, I suppose unless you're going to do individual physics for every blade of grass, and that's basically something that's going to be unavoidable.
Yeah, it's not awful, is it? I mean, it's not.
No, not at all.
There are obviously games that look prettier, but this is doing a pretty good
I'm
job
just-
for whatever.
I'm just
their
very
engine is.
ready for the next generation.
Let my go yet for the grass.
I'm just a bit of a graphics pig, so
I'm not that. I've
More
never been that
graphics,
bothered, to be honest.
more.
I
want more.
as long as it's kind of like, say, this level or thereabouts, I'm fine. As long as I don't look at it and kind of see the corners and the joins.
Yeah, we're at the stage graphically where it's very easy to suspend disbelief.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that back on bloody, PS2, PS1 even. I've been playing some old Resi
Yeah,
stuff.
like old Cruddle Vision on an SD telly, and yeah, to an extent. Yeah, but yeah. I remember Metal Gear Solid 2 when it first came out in 2001. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
nothing can ever look better than this.
Well, I remember I played a little bit of Resi 2 the other day. I remember when it came out thinking, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And then playing it like a couple of weeks and going,
Characters with their oh dear.
oh, what have you done?
I've been found. Yeah. I honestly did this so much smoother when I was actually reviewing it again.
I guess when you're
It's the
talking...
pressures of entertaining.
Yes.
You beautiful readers / listeners.
Yeah, crawl and gun. It's not so easy.
Okay, no, it's not sent us back far. That's good.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, you messed it up very quickly.
And of course, yeah. They do love the old sneaky bit. I mean, they've had like this kind of quite well-worn stealth template since
Yeah.
all gillied up in Modern Warfare. You know,
This,
they had-
this, for all you can knock the series for being retreading familiar ground and doing the same thing over and over again. It's got these beats like all gillied up and moments of
World at War,
Stalingrad.
like-
That you always remember these things, and they're always, I guess, a pressure that people feel like they need to hit those peaks again, even if it's just one level.
I must say, all gillied up still just about the best paced FPS level I've ever played. It's
all
just
gillied up.
astonishingly good.
All gillied up as a level is better than some whole games.
Yeah, it's like perfectly executed.
Perfectly paced, beautifully done, like all the reveals and the speed it progresses and stuff.
And you've actually got much more control over it than you might think. It's actually far easier to fail it if you go just like it's very good at directing it what it wants you to do.
Yeah.
But it's very easy just to get diverted slightly off course and
Watch
fail.
yourself up
But
there.
we should probably start
Try not
talking
to
about
draw
Black
any
Ops 2
more
again.
attention.
Yes.
Okay, now this is again like an optional extra that you can equip.
Oh,
I
thank God
think.
you're not having to actually.
Now
do
these are
that.
really good. These are animal traps, which you can lay down at a later bit when you get besieged by loads of enemies, and they will get the legs trapped in them and scream a lot, and then you
Fantastic.
can shoot them when they're trapped.
So yeah, like a landmine, but more
Yeah.
painful.
And now this, I wonder if this area, this is where you might find the intel.
I'm just really pleased though that you didn't actually have to do the lockpicking yourself,
Killed.
because that's nothing worse than going up the door and then you rotate the stick,
Yeah,
press the
no,
button.
I'm not a fan of.
I liked.
It's just faff work.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
used
quite
to be
needed.
good. I remember when the first time you started doing it, like, oh, this is amazing. But then there's only so many ways you can do it, and unless it's perfectly
Watch yourself
weighted,
up there.
you're just sitting there
Try not to
rattling
draw
the
any
sticks,
more
trying to get the damn thing to open.
Now, this old town that I'm about to come up to, I think there are various bits of intel there that you can collect, and if you collect them all, that will have some different bearing on, Royal Menendez or Denali. But I'm simply going to go up to him and let what will happen.
Yeah. Okay. Then.
Just for the purposes of entertainment. So here's Royal Menendez here, who is the uber baddie of Black Ops 3. And quite a good character. I compare him to like a South American Terminator
No.
in some ways.
Do not
But he's a bit more
concern yourself
goofy
with
looking.
local politics. Prosta marionetka. Как ты? Bien. Как сказано.
You are dead, man, unless you do exactly as I say. Tune the radio to
Oh,
Yeah. So he's not scarred here, is he?
the scarring happens later.
Él piensa que está en control. Pero él no
I
es.
say shut up! Lower your weapon! I swear to God, I'll kill this bastard!
Sam Worthington does love some gruff shouting.
I'll kill him!
Quizás nosotros
Oh, kid soldiers. Interesting.
deberíamos.
Yeah, child soldiers, yeah.
You son of a bitch!
Has he just jumped on the grenade? Idiot! Why are they
Yeah.
all jumping on it? Throw it away! So that was the scarring, I take it.
Part of the scarring.
Part of it.
Yeah.
There's scarring part two.
There's more scarring to come. Scarring to the re-scarring. Right now, what I was talking about every certain sections, every mission being set up for sniping. We're about to see the first one here in this little den.
Oh, yeah.
You can go up. shoot some.
We gotta buy some
Should
time.
walk a lot. Okay. Let's shoot some. I could have actually equipped a proper sniper rifle.
Yeah, there's a
and
dragon
all
up
that
there.
shit.
Do you actually need to fight these people, or do you just run
Yeah,
away?
you have to hold them off for a little bit before you get to hold them.
Wow.
I'll hide here. For protection of
A tree.
that. Such a-
There, it's on the left, in that guy there.
We gotta get moving, Hudson. Throw smoke.
Throw smoke!
Smoke out. Grab one.
Let's run, and now you'll get to see my up some animal traps now.
I got him. Let's go.
Dang! Jam jar vision. I would be quite up for them cutting jam jar vision.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's one. It's evolved, doesn't it? And what used to be quite a subtle, maybe a more subtle effect, has now become.
It just makes the game. It just puts an unnecessary barrier in the way
Yeah.
of your shooting. Let's see if I can get enemies.
Yeah, I'll get a trap. Oh.
Get what's in cover.
Step in it. No, someone's stepping the trap.
Woof.
Bring some animal
And
trap.
keep coming. Yeah,
I
there he
think-
is. There he is in the animal trap.
Yeah.
Oh shit, my powers must be. Dear. This bit's quite different.
They're still coming.
These sort, yeah, they're always tricky. These things, aren't they? You never quite know it. Like, obviously, you know, but if you're playing, you're like, do I run? Do I
Yeah,
have to
this-
fight? What point does
I
it stop?
died a good few times at this because it's not particularly well explained. Let's go prone.
Because you always end up doing that, because you spend ages fighting a battle, and then suddenly realise if you'd taken another step forward, you'd have triggered the end.
Yeah, yeah.
You've made that worse somehow.
Oh dear, I should have thrown the grenade back. And this is one thing, I will say some of the checkpoints
Not
are
great.
really harsh in this. I wouldn't go as far as say broken, but I think they overly penalise you. Certainly more, I can remember more and more for
It's a hard
3
thing to
to-
get right, I guess, isn't it? Because you don't want a checkpoint that basically puts you exactly where you were. Like, so you just basically restart exactly on the point you died. But
Yeah.
you don't want to see the screen
Redo
come back up and go
entire
like,
sections.
oh, what, I'm here?
Played a game recently, which I won't name and shame, that made you redo essentially 10-minute sections just
Wow.
because the checkpoints were so broken. You do like 3 very distinct bits, survive 2 of them, die in the 3rd one, then you do the
I played
2
that game
bits.
as well, actually.
They're still coming.
We're still coming, man. Game over. Game over, man.
Firing, Hudson.
Do you just have an unlimited number of animal traps, or
No, like I think I've got like 6. Which I'd probably
carrying them all?
in a special utility belt of fun. Let's try and not die here.
Got any smoke?
We gotta make a run for the river.
I'm going to run for the river. Or we'll hide behind this tree. Come on.
Running and hiding is the sign of a good soldier.
That's how all the great wars are made.
Yeah.
Like going pro and hiding behind a tree. Run away! Okay,
Keep moving.
keep moving, man.
I sort of want Indiana Jones plane to be waiting for us.
Da-da-da, Is that a
Start it up.
snake? There.
Oh, the car. That'll be good.
Actually do get a driver car right in the handling is surprisingly good.
No.
Although I don't know if you have to park in parallel. I don't know if you have to parallel park like in Medal on Warfare.
I quite like Medal of Honor's driving sections. They just didn't quite get the handling right, because there were moments where you career around corners and smash through carts and things, and it was almost amazing, but it never sort of happened on purpose.
I don't know if that's really what gamers want though during World War III to have to do advanced driving.
I think it's
techniques.
it's weird, isn't it? Because if you do like a game like this and do a straight shooter and it's all shooty, people kind of go like, right, it's a bit
Too much
samey,
shooty
isn't
shit,
it?
yeah.
But then as soon as you throw something different in, people go, where's the shooting?
I think the diversions in this they're infrequent enough and they're well implemented enough that they are welcome.
Yeah.
To be fair, COD. Traditionally, the
Broken
vehicle
tree.
stuff in COD's always been pretty good.
Yeah.
Going back to the first game and like the tanks in Russia.
I think with any kind of throwaway sections, they need to work straight away. They don't need to be something you have to sort of master or get used to.
Come on, we're getting
They
out.
just need to be they need to work, and they need to be something that doesn't overpower the rest of the stuff. Ah, I see the screenshot.
My brothers. Oh, he does not look healthy.
Well, we got him, Mason.
Take that, man.
Can't kill me.
Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. Of course it is.
So is this the end of the
This
present,
is
the
end
past?
of the
You can't
past,
kill
and the
me.
next mission is
You can't kill
in the
me.
future.
It's very Christian
You're all
Bale.
blind for me.
Although sadly there are no Back to the Future 2 hoverboards in the future. And not Call of Duty's future.
Cool. Okay. Well,
Just
we'll.
like you, kid.
We're still talking. We'll bring that to a close then. We'll do some more future stuff, I guess. Try and do some more tomorrow, maybe, or the day after. Have a crack on that. Oh, we are indeed in the future. Is this a long cutscene?
No, that's it over.
Oh,
That's
cool.
just
Okay, yeah. All right. Leave some comments, guys. We'll do the future stuff tomorrow. We're gonna do some zombies videos now. We'll speak to you later.
Cheers, guys.